Hey guys, what's happening? It's your boy Hollywood Steve back with another video right here on the Hollywood Steve Wrestling Podcast, right here on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. All right. So over the last probably couple hours, there has been some breaking news in regards to Netflix and the Warner Brothers Discovery of shows of product. Um, and as we know, WWE is already part of Netflix. Netflix has a deal with WWE, and just over the last over the last hours here, um, pro wrestling world, pro pro wrestling pro wrestling world reported through per WPW Insider Netflix. So here's what it is. Netflix is not purchasing the linear channels owned by the by WBD Warner Brothers Discovery. Those channels will be spun off into a new, separate, publicly traded company known as Discovery Global. Among those linear channels are TBS, TNT, and TNT, which carry AEW programming. After acquisition of HBO Max, where the rights to AEW in terms of streaming lands remains to be seen, but one would assume it would remain unchanged through AEW's current contractual agreements with WBD at the time they came to terms. So Warner Brothers Discovery is now going to be owned by Netflix. So what does this look like going forward? What does this mean for for AEW? It looks like according to what I was just reading and what I've seen, that AEW is going to stay on TBS and TNT, but it looks like it's probably just going to be like the movie content, the shows, um, things like that. Not not AEW, um, because if that were the case, then that would just, I mean, WWE would have just, I mean, destroyed their competition, and that's what WWE does. That's what WWE does. That's what they do with WCW. They want to be the only, they want to be the only wrestling company, right? But it looks like right now that WWE um, and Netflix are not have not worked together to get AEW. So it's just the Warner Brothers Discovery library. It looks like, so it's going to be like, all the movies, all the TV shows. So you'll be able to go to Netflix to watch any of those. You'll be able to go to Netflix to watch any of those shows. Um, in other breaking news in the last few days, TNA announced a massive TV deal. TNA is going in 2026, January 15th, 2026. TNA is going to be on AMC. And that is huge news because right now you can't you like, if you have local cable, if you have any local cable channel, um if you have Cox, if you have, if especially if you have Cox, you can't get AEW on television, or you can get AEW. Sorry, you can't get TNA on television. The only way to get TNA, the weekly show, the only way to get Impact, is through the TNA Plus app. And so this is huge because now TNA is going to be on weekly television every Thursday night for 2 hours starting January 15th of 2026. Finally, TNA is coming back to local television. And this is a huge deal. And what it means going forward for TNA, we'll have to see. You know, obviously, I think WWE had a lot to probably do with this deal, this television deal with AMC. Um, I'm kind of surprised they didn't get A&E because WWE's on A&E with all their, docu-series programs and everything. But if you have on Thursday nights starting January 15th, 2026, you will have TNA Impact on Thursday nights starting at 8 o'clock from 8 to 10. That is huge. That is massive because that's going to put a ton, a ton of eyeballs on on TNA. That's going to put a ton of eyeballs on TNA that normally that wouldn't watch TNA, that don't have the TNA Plus app. That's going to put a huge amount of eyes on TNA. That's going to be huge. And I'm hoping that they continue to do the crossover, and we'll have to see how what they decide to do with the streaming, if you just get TNA Plus to watch the uh any of the pay-per-views, and it's just a lot. There's a lot of wrestling news going on, out there right now. um I've been I've been hearing that um that ESPN is not happy with their current deal with WWE. I haven't uh I haven't read all the I haven't read all the all the news on that. Um but it it is it's apparently AEW or WWE or WWE and the the um the deal that they have is not isn't ESPN is not too happy with that. Trying to find it here so I can give you guys the rundown of this here as to why uh ESPN is not happy with um WWE. Um I can't find it right now. Um, but so I guess let me see if I can let me find this here, guys. Hang on. Um, okay, so Wrestling Inc. backstage update on ESPN, possibly being unhappy with WWE relationship. Early on Wednesday afternoon, the seemingly happy relationship between WWE and ESPN was suddenly called into question by Freddie Prinze Jr. while reviewing WWE Survivor Series War Games for his podcast, The Wing Commander. Led lead and former member of the WWE creative team casually let slip that a friend of his within Disney had suggested ESPN wasn't thrilled so far with the results WWE PLEs had produced so far. Prince Prince didn't elaborate as to why that was the case though. As to why that was the case, though he did hint at the lower than expected PLE buys could be a factor. A few hours later, both WWE and ESPN suggesting that Freddie Prinze Jr. is mistaken. Fightful Select reports that a rep within ESPN has said they have heard not no such chatter that ESPN is unhappy with WWE. On the contrary, the rep stated that the broadcaster has enjoyed working with WWE in the nearly 4 months the two sides have been working together. WWE's denial was even more forceful, with one WWE higher up taking a shot at Freddie Prinze Jr., stating that no one in WWE upper management is aware of Freddie Prince's role in wrestling or otherwise, suggesting Freddie Prinze Jr. won't be receiving a Christmas card from WWE this year. Ultimately, any issue between WWE and ESPN are likely meaningless at the moment, as the two sides are still in the first year of an agreement that is set for 5 years and $1.6 billion. That's a billion with a B, with no opt out clause believed to exist in the contract. WWE and ESPN are next set to collaborate at the start of February when the 2026 Royal Rumble will air on ESPN DTC live from Saudi Arabia. So apparently there's mixed signals going on here that ESPN and WWE aren't happy with the with the contract with each other. But apparently that doesn't seem to be the case coming from ESPN and coming from WWE. Now, I will say that Survivor Series, the results of War Games were a little lackluster. As I was there live watching it, and I will say the ending to the main event, to the men's War Games match, really was kind of a letdown. If you ask me, it really didn't it it didn't cement anything. It was just this masked hooded figure came out, climbed the cage, um, super kicked. I can't even remember who it was. Curb stomped some one of the I think it was Jay. I can't remember who it was. And then climbs back over the cage and out, and then we haven't followed up with who this could possibly be at all. There there's rumor and speculation going around that it's Austin Theory, and which seems to be the most likely. of options, which seems to be the most reasonable choice because Austin Theory was rumored to be joining the Vision before Seth went out on his before Seth went out with his injury. There's rumor that it's Seth Rollins. I'm not buying that. I think this time Seth is legit hurt. He's legitimately hurt this time. I don't think he's playing anybody because he was booted out, basically booted out of the Vision. So, he was speared by Braun Breaker and basically booted out of the Vision. So, this says Austin Theory to me. But they they haven't paid it off yet. They need to pay it off. They need to pay this off. So it's going to be very interesting here to see what happens with it. But that was basically the end of men's war games. That was kind of how it ended. It very lackluster, very like what the heck kind of thing. It was like, what in the world? What is this? And a lot of boos at the end of war games, which that's probably kind of where this rumor has come from, that WWE and ESPN aren't happy with that. ESPN is not happy with the results of the PLEs lately in WWE, and WWE is becoming about moments, which are fine, I'm still a huge WWE fan. I love the moments, but if we're gonna do a moment, let's pay that moment off at some point. I mean, like literally, like, let's find out who this masked person is, not just keep everybody in the dark and, oh, I don't know who the masked person is. I don't know who it is. I had nothing to do with it. Let's reveal who that person is, um before before everybody is like, I'm done with this story. Let's figure out who this masked person is. But that's kind of where things sit there. I think WWE and ESPN are totally fine. There's nothing going on there. I think they are absolutely perfectly, totally, 100% absolutely fine. I do. I think they're 100% perfectly okay. Um so that is that. And we'll find out, hopefully we'll find out some more tonight on SmackDown, what's going on. Um but yeah, there we go, guys. That is some breaking WWE news and just wrestling news in general. I will catch you guys in the next one. Remember, this is your boy Hollywood Steve saying, when you're Hollywood Steve, it's for life. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you guys in the next one. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm, guys. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers, guys. Help me get there. Like this video, share, comment. Tell your friends, tell every wrestling fan that you know about this channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.